What's up, Techno fam? Hope you're having a great day. I found out something very interesting last night, and there was a little mix-up, I guess. I asked B&H Photo for a Samsung QN90A. However, when I opened the box, the TV was double boxed. When I opened up that outside box, it was a Sony A90J. So I don't know, Sony, Samsung, Q90A, A90J. I don't know. Anyway, the easy mistake. I'm glad I got the Sony, okay? I found out something when I was trying to do this video for the 4K HDR setup, so let's talk about it. So let's start by setting up 4K 120 Hz HDR on one of the ports. Now, with the A90J, two ports are HDMI 2.1 that support 4K 120 gaming, and that's HDMI 3 and HDMI 4. HDMI 3 also happens to be the ARC port. So I went ahead and connected the Xbox Series X to HDMI port number 3. So let's jump into the Xbox settings to see what it says. So to do that, we need to go into Settings, General, TV and Display Options, and then select 4K TV Details. As you can see, there's some red, there's some white, but we're looking for all green check marks. That's what we want on this screen. Okay, so let's jump out of here and press the Settings button on the Sony remote, and then choose the setting cog on the left to get into the settings menu. From here, we select the first option, Channels and Inputs. Scroll down to External Inputs, and then scroll down and select HDMI signal format. Now we scroll through on our way to HDMI 3. Notice that HDMI 1 and HDMI 2 have two options, Standard and Enhanced. However, when we get to HDMI 3 and 4, we have a third option for both of those inputs, and that is Enhanced Dolby Vision. So my inclination was to check out the newest option, so I selected Enhanced Dolby Vision. Okay, now let's jump back into the 4K TV Details on the Series X to see what it says. So here we see that 4K 120 is not supported when we are in Enhanced Dolby Vision mode. Now, in-game Dolby Vision is absolutely brand spanking new, and it is capped at 4K 60. So that kind of makes sense in this kind of like thing right now, at least what's happening right now. So with this Dolby Vision enhanced mode on, we don't get support for 4K 120. Okay, I already knew that. You probably have heard that too, because 4K 120 and in-game Dolby Vision just isn't supported. So let's go back and change that from Enhanced Dolby Vision to Enhanced. Again, we need to go to the settings menu, select Channels and Inputs, External Inputs, HDMI signal format, select HDMI 3, and then change this to the middle option, Enhanced. Now let's get back to the Series X settings, jump into the 4K TV Details screen, and now we get green check marks for 4K 120 support. However, this totally disables any Dolby Vision support. Do you see these red check marks? No streaming Dolby Vision, obviously no gaming in Dolby Vision. So, Techno Dad, what does this mean? Why is this a big deal? Why are you all up in my grill about this? I'll tell you why. Because if you're having that one device in HDMI 3 or HDMI 4, that is 4K 120 HDR, like a PS5 or a Xbox Series X. Oh, by the way, PS5, same thing. If you want 4K 120, pick the middle option, HDMI 3 or HDMI 4. That's it. Same deal. However, if you are using any of these apps on that device that support Dolby Vision, like Netflix or Vudu, at least, that's what it is on the Xbox. Not 100% sure which apps on the PS5 support Dolby Vision, but I know at least Netflix should support Dolby Vision. Anyway, those will come up as HDR. They won't come up as Dolby Vision because when you are on the middle option, Enhanced, that disables all Dolby Vision coming into that input. You have to choose Enhanced Dolby Vision on that input to get Dolby Vision, which then negates 4K 120 Hz. So what is the situation? The situation is you would have to keep going into the menu and changing that every time you wanted to play a game at 4K 120 or then watch something that is supported in Dolby Vision. Kind of a pain. Here's another scenario that ran through my mind because when I saw this and this happened, I was just like, it was like 3 a.m., and it's almost 10 a.m. now. And I woke up yesterday, Tuesday, at 6 a.m. So I still haven't slept. So like my mind's just running. Let's say you have an AV receiver and you have devices that support Dolby Vision, like a 4K Blu-ray player, or maybe a streaming box like an Apple TV 4K that supports Dolby Vision, or NVIDIA Shield TV Pro supporting Dolby Vision, or whatever you have that supports Dolby Vision going into your AV receiver. You also have an AV receiver that supports 4K 120 Hz pass-through from a new console. So you have that going in to your AV receiver. And of course, you would connect your AV receiver to the Sony A90J to the ARC eARC port, which is HDMI number 3, right? Because you want that ARC eARC functionality just in case you're using a streaming app on the TV. And here it is again, rearing its ugly head. You will have to go into the HDMI signal format menu and change from enhanced to enhanced Dolby Vision every single time you wanted to play a 4K 120 HDR game and then watch something from another device like a 4K Blu-ray that has Dolby Vision, and everything's routed through the AV receiver and then going to the TV through HDMI number 3. Here's another scenario. Let's say you don't have one of those new consoles. Let's say you have a PS4 Pro and you have the Xbox One X. So those are capped at 4K 60, right? And they have Dolby Vision in them, right, for streaming apps. And then you've got your Dolby Vision external devices like 4K Blu-ray player and other streaming boxes or whatever. All that going through the AV receiver. Your AV receiver is connected to the Sony A90J through HDMI 3. You will need to select the third option in that screen so you can get 4K HDR and Dolby Vision, since everything is capped at 4K 60. That is the option that you're going to have to check. Yet another scenario, you don't have any gaming consoles. All you have are streaming boxes, 4K Blu-ray players. All these things support Dolby Vision. You go into your receiver is plugged into HDMI 3 for ARC eARC functionality, and this is where you would also pick option number 3, enhanced Dolby Vision. Now, of course, you're like, well, TechnoDad, I don't have an AV receiver. The TV is just going to be there, and that's it. I'm going to use like one box that supports Dolby Vision. Okay, cool. In this scenario, you would connect up your 4K 120 Hz gaming console to either HDMI 3 or HDMI 4. Choose the second option for either of those, okay? And then for HDMI 1 or HDMI 2, you pick the second option for your other external devices that support Dolby Vision. Because remember, HDMI 1 and HDMI 2 have only the two options, standard and enhanced. And that's how the previous years Sony's TVs were before. So you'll get full 4K HDR support on HDMI 1 and 2 when you choose enhanced. The only issue arises when we have to go to HDMI 3 and 4, which have support for 4K 120. So yeah, I found this out in the middle of the night, and all these scenarios running through my head. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to get this video out today because you guys need to know if you're going to spend, I mean, it's $3,000 for a 55-inch A90J. Like, that's a lot of money. And now we're back to like, what's the solution? If you're running everything through an AVR and you don't want to have to go and switch the things like the HDMI signal format all the time, back and forth, what's the solution? Well, I guess we're back to the eARC workaround where you plug in your console to HDMI 4, set that up as enhanced, so the middle option, and then have the AVR going into HDMI 3, have that set up as enhanced Dolby Vision, so all your Dolby Vision enabled devices going through the AVR can talk to the TV properly, and then you'll just eARC the audio from your console through to the AVR. So it's almost like we took 2 steps forward and like 1 step back, or maybe like 1.5 steps back, because now we're still back in 2020. Yeah, pretty crazy, huh? But if you guys want to talk about this more, I'll be on the Be the Installer's live stream today at 3:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Look for posts on his channel, and you can ask me questions about this whole like scenario that I just found out about last night. And yes, so thank you for watching. Oh, thank you to all my patrons. And aren't you glad you subscribed? And if you're wondering why I'm up this late and up for so long, I still have 100,000 subscribers and I still have 3 jobs. So you should go right now, help out the cause, click the link in the description to become a patron at the $5 level. Trust me, you will not regret it. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you, patrons. Thank you, everyone. Peace.
me.